Hello everyone, welcome to BIRT Report Designer video. In this video, I will show you how we can create a template, and in that template we will add the data source from the Excel file, and then I will show you how we can design the template. Okay, so to create the template we can click on this file and click on file and click on new report. Okay, then we can give the name here to the report like Superstore report. Okay, click on finish. Then we need to create the data source. To create the data source, right click on the data source, click on new data source. Then we will use Excel as a data source. Click on this, click on next. Then we can browse the Excel file. Okay, so for that I'll go to documents, then Excel file, then select sample superstore.xlx file, then test the connection, ping succeeded, click OK and finish. Okay, then we can create the data set. To create the data set, right click here and click on new data set. Then here data source is already selected. Click on next, and whatever column we want to use in the report, we can simply select those columns from here and we can map to the right side. And also if we have multiple worksheets in the Excel file, so those worksheets we can select here. So I'm selecting orders here, and then I'll select region, then state, the country, then order ID, order date, customer name, product name, sales, quantity and profit. Okay, then we can click on this and click on finish, and we can see the preview here of the data. You can see the data is visible here. Then click OK. Then now we need to design the template. To design the template, we can go to the master page, and here we have like we can define the layout of the page, like the type. So we want, if we A4 size, we can select A4 size. If we want different size, so we can select here. If we want to define our own custom size, we can select the custom, and then we can define width and height there. And also we have option to select the landscape or portrait. So I'm using landscape here. Okay, then on the top we have header and footer. So we can define the height of header and the footer. Okay, so suppose I want the footer height only 0.3 inch, and in the output I want to show the report generation time and the page numbers and all those things. So for that, what we can do, we can right click here and we can click on insert, and we can use a grid. Okay, so we want three things to be shown in the footer, like the page numbers, the report generation time, and some confidential message. So I'll use the number of column 3 and number of rows 1 and click OK. Then in this we can add the report generation time. So for that, what we can do, we can go to the palette, and here we have auto text. So in the auto text we can select created on. Okay, so we can simply drag and drop, and you see here created on is added, so it will show the report generation time. Okay, click on cancel. Then we want the page n of m. Okay, so for that we can simply drag and drop this page n of m here. Okay, I'll decrease some space, so for that I'll define the width here like 0.2, make it center align everything. Then I'll right align everything here. Here I want the confidential message, so for that I can use the label. So label we can use to insert the static piece of the text. So I'll simply drag and drop the label here, and we can put the some confidential message, like any message we can put. I'm just putting confidential here. Okay, and I can make it center line. Okay, so this is how we can define the footer of this. If we want to apply the header, okay, so what we can do, we can increase the height of header, okay, like 0.7. Then we can simply drag this grid here. Okay, then we want to show the name of report on the left hand side. On the right hand side I want to show the logo, so I want two columns and one row. Okay, so for that I'll select one, click OK. Now we have two items here. I'll simply add a label for the report name. Okay, and this name I'll give super store rep monthly report. Okay, then here we can change the font family and all those things. So I'll selecting the font Arial here. Okay, and I'll give the size to 20, and I'll also make it bold. I'll select this grid. I'll make the height of this to 1 inch, sorry, zero 0.6 inch. Okay, and I'll make it center line, sorry, the vertical alignment middle. And on the right hand side I want to add the logo. So for that I can simply drag this image component here. Okay, so image is added here. So we will use the URI option. So for that what I will do, I'll come here and I'll select super store logo. Okay, so I'll click on this, or if we want some other logo also, so we can copy the link address. I copy the link address, I paste here. This website is blocked. Okay, I'll use some other one. So I'll copy the link address, paste here. Click on inspect, go to console. Mm, copy, copy image address, paste. Yeah, so we copied the image address. So I will use this image URL into the report designer. So I'll go to the report designer, I'll paste here and click on insert. Okay, then I'll right align this, and also I'll define the width. So I'll define the width like 3, sorry, 1.5 inch and zero 0.5. Okay, now till now I want to check the like how my template look like. So for that I use Control S to save this, and I can click on run and click on view report, and I use in web viewer. It is processing now. I'll close this, close this. Let's wait for this report to be open. You can see the logo is coming, the header is coming, and our footer is also coming. Okay, so we can adjust the logo as well. So I'll do one thing. I'll keep the width only, so it will take the height automatically. Okay, and then we can go to the layout page. Okay, and meanwhile I'll save this and I'll come here and refresh this. You can see the logo is coming nice. Okay, so header and footer part is done. So now let's go like how I can design the template. Okay, so first suppose I want to use the label. Okay, so label we use for the static text. So suppose I want to use this for this one, like uh, monthly monthly order details. Okay, I can make it bold, and also I can change the font Arial and increase the size to 15 points. Okay, then we have the next item is the text element. If we want the HTML formatting, in that case we can use the text component. So we can use HTML. Okay, and then here we have different formatting options. So like if we want H1 heading, then we can say like superstore. Okay, superstore data. Okay, and also we want along with this H2 heading, and we can say monthly data. Okay, then we can say S3 heading, and here I will use, suppose instead of using the superstore data and monthly data. Okay, uh, suppose I want to add the dynamic values, so we can use the dynamic values also. So for that we can click on this and we have option dynamic text. Then we can go to the value of, here we have the different BIRT functions here. Okay, so in the BIRT functions we can create a like BIRT comparison date time. Suppose I want to show any date time. Okay, so for that what we can do, so scroll down here, it is showing the different functions. Okay, so I want to show the date time. Okay, so for that I can use this option now. So I'll use now BIRT date time dot now, so it will show the current time. Okay, so I can click OK. You can see here this time is added here. All the HTML kind of formattings we can add here. Okay, we can click on value of, then we can use the native JavaScript functions as well here, like regular expressions and all those things. So those things I will show in the detail in the upcoming videos, but for now you can just understand like that HTML, this dynamic text sorry, the text is can be used for HTML formatting as well as any dynamic text. Okay, so I'll click OK. I'll show you the report now. Control S, and I'll go here and I'll simply refresh this. It's processing. Now you can see Superstore. This we added in the header. Then this monthly order details we added in the label. This is H1 heading, H2 heading, and this is S3 heading, where we are getting the current time. So current time is 12:41. Okay, so that's why that time is showing, and also it is showing the created on. Okay, so that's all about the label and this thing. Okay, label and text. The dynamic text, like we can add a dynamic text, and then this dynamic text we need to bind with the data set. Then we can click on binding, we can click on data set here, and whatever data we want to show, we can select here. So suppose I want to show like the region and state, okay, and also country and the customer name. Okay, click OK. So I'll do one thing, I'll go here, then you can see the available column binding dynamic text, and here I will put like this, suppose country, okay, country plus I'll use here country. Okay, then next I want to show suppose region, so I use double quotes. Whatever things we want to put the static, that we can put in the double quotes, and we can give the space, and the region, I'll select the region. This is how we can use the dynamic text along with the static text. So country is static text, and country value we will get from the data set. Okay, then click OK, and you can see this is added. Now let me save this and go here, and I'll refresh. So now you can see here, you can see country is added United States and region is South. Okay, now let's go here. Now, so next item is data. So data is again similar to this one, the dynamic text. We can add data like this. Okay, and then we can simply bind this to the data set. Suppose I'll use the customer name, click OK. Then I'll double click on this, use the expression, and use available column binding data, and I'll use the customer name and click OK. Okay, so here before the region I want to give a space, so this space is there. Okay, then here I added the customer name, I can save it. So currently I'm showing like all the report items, so like what is the use of these items. Then when we are designing the actual report, that time we will be using these components there. Okay, I'm just explaining like what each component do. So now let me go back here and refresh. You can see here Clary Gut is the name of the customer. Okay, and again go back. Then the next item is image. Image we I already showed in the master page here. Okay, but in the image now we have multiple options, like we can use image here. We have URI option. Okay, URI option we just need to provide the URL. Okay, image in file shared resources means like here we have the resources. Okay, so if we have an image in the shared resources, we can select there. If we have embedded image option, we can click on add image and we can upload the image from our local. The dynamic image, like if we have the data set, in the data set any of the column containing the URL, and we want to show that URL, that dynamic images based on that URL, in that case we use. So all those things I will explain you while we are going forward. Okay, so for now I'll close, remove this. Then the next item is grid. Grid is mostly we use for the formatting. Suppose like I want to add one component here, okay, and the next component I want to add after that particular column. Okay, so suppose these things, no, here we have this item, so if I'm adding any of the columns, so it is getting added one by another one, like, right, like one below another, right? So one is here, another is here, another is here. But if I want to show all three into a single one, single line, then we can use the grid. So suppose I added a grid, I want number of columns 3 and number of rows 1. or suppose I want to use number of rows 3 also. So in that case, like this is mostly purely used for the this one, the formatting. So I'll add this h1 heading here. Okay, h1 heading come here. Country thing I want to add here in the second row, second column. Okay, the column binding I want to add here. Okay, let's see the output now. Save. Okay, and refresh. You see this one here, first row, first column. This one, second row, second column, third row, third column. So the grid is used for the formatting. The next component is the list. Okay, list is like when we want to use like flexible formatting. Okay, so in that case, no, what we can use like in the flexible format, like we have like you see, suppose you have the data of your students. Okay, and you want to print the mark sheet for each student. So in that, what we can do, we can create a particular format report, and then we can put that particular format report inside the list, and then we can pass the data. So for each user or each row of line, that particular format will repeat. So yeah, that use case I will show you in the upcoming videos. Okay, but for now you can use like list, like if you want to use any form type report or any specific formatting we want in the report design, so for that we will use the list. Okay, then next we have the table component. So table component we will use like when we want to add a tabular data. So suppose let me add a table here, and I want to show 5 columns. Okay, and number of details I will use 1. Click OK. Then go to the data explorer, expand this. I want to show the region. Okay, and then I want to show the customer name and the sales and the profit. Okay, and the quantity. Okay, let me save this. I here in the table we just simply drag and drop the columns from the data sets. Okay, then also there is a option to add a table directly. We can simply drag this data set from here, and whatever column we want to add, we can simply select those like this, and we can click OK. So table also get added automatically. So I'll save this, and let's come here and refresh. Report is generating. Yeah, so now you can see here this table is added here. Region it is showing, then it is showing the customer name, then showing sales, then it is showing profit, and the quantity it is showing. So this is how we can add the table. Okay, and this report is multi-page report. So you can see it is showing page 1 of 67. So you can see here the page numbers 1 of 60 607. Okay, so we can go to the next pages like that. If we want to go to end, we can click here. You can see this table here. We have customer name, state, sales, and quantity we have here. Okay, this is how we can add the table. Let me go back again, and I'll simply remove this and remove this. Then next we have the cross tab. Sorry, the chart. If you want to insert the chart, so this chart and cross tab, so these things I will explain later. Okay, when we will be designing a specific use case for chart and cross tab, I'll create another video specific to chart and the cross tab. Okay, then below we have the quick tools to add the aggregations and relative fields. So this also I will create a separate video for this. Thank you for watching this video. Hope you enjoyed it and we'll meet in the next video. Thank you.